So welcome back, everyone. I'm excited because I have a newbie with me, and I'm excited when I do that. They get nervous, I get nervous. I have with me Howard Ladron, and he is a Medicare broker for Medicare Advocacy Group. Welcome to the show. I want you to get right up on the mic there, but I want you to tell everybody first a little bit about yourself and what makes you different.
Okay. Well, I'm a Medicare broker for Medicare Advocacy Group. I've been involved in the senior healthcare industry for 28 years. And one thing that separates me from a lot of individuals out there, I'm actually partnered with over 25 different health insurance companies throughout the state of Arizona.
Okay, so if somebody needs your service, you said it's really important for them to come to somebody like you because?
Well, because over 90% of agents that are out there are what they call captive agents. They're with one company. So when they help you, they steer you towards just the products that they represent. In this case, I'm working with over 25 different health insurance companies. I can actually help you discover what plan is actually best for you and help you with whichever company has that plan.
So I want to do this my way, if it's okay with you. And the first thing I wanted to talk about is that this is a no-cost service to the people out there. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's number one. You work valley-wide?
I do.
Now, you said to me that you do something very specific, and I love this. Listen up, everyone. That you do a 2-hour per person, 2-hour per person, face-to-face consultation, and he comes to the person that you're going to go see. So let's say there's 2 people in the household, because most time there could be like that. It's 2 hours per person that you sit down and you do this consult. It's got to be extremely thorough.
It must be. You know, in order to do a very good job for the client, you have to discern every specific need they have, and you must take your time and leave them with everything in writing as far as documentation so they have takeaways, and it takes time.
Okay, so the number to call, I'm going to have you put this down now because, you know, everybody has questions when it comes to Medicare, right? And that you could be turning 65, is it 65?
Yeah.
Yeah? Or you could also already be in it and have questions about what you already have now, right? So the number to call is 866-356-7250. He does, these consultations are extremely extensive, 2 hours per person, face to face. He likes to do that where he comes to you. So the one thing that you told me before you came on today is that you wanted to talk about things that actually happen, right? Right?
Absolutely.
I want to talk about, first of all, you said to me that people want to know, is it going to be affordable enough for me to have? Let's talk about that first. Okay.
Yeah. Well, there are a few main concerns that I discover, and that's part of the consultations. I always ask, what are some pressing issues? What are you looking for solutions on? What are some challenges that you've presently encountered, or what would you like to overcome? Affordability is actually the number one concern.
I'm sure.
They want to know, well, how much is this going to cost? What are my deductibles? What are my co-payments? What are my co-insurance on different plans? And it's a moving target on a lot of plans that are out there. So you really need to discover what their needs are, what they need, what their health requirements are, what medications they use, what doctors they use. You have to understand everything to really equate what their total out-of-pocket cost is, because that's what they want to know is, hey, next year, understanding my profile, what are the out-of-pocket costs I can anticipate, because I don't want surprise bills. I need to know.
I understand that. I'm sure that that's probably on everybody's mind, especially right now. It makes sense to have somebody who is experienced like you, knowledgeable, also a broker, very, very important. He's been doing this for 28 years, and what I love that he does is that he actually comes to you and does a 2-hour consultation with you. It's no cost to you, and he comes to you to make it easier for you as well, and he works valley-wide. His phone number is 866-356-7250. Now, I'm kind of over here, I'm not sure if this is right, but you say that one thing is that you want to have everybody have complete transparency is what it's all about, correct?
Absolutely.
So I want to talk about more about this. So you have to do it my way. So I'm going to have to do it this way because of the way I do things. Okay.
Okay.
So I want to talk first about what people have so many questions on. Obviously, money is one of them.
Yes.
But they want to know about their doctors. This is important because a lot of them want to make sure that they can keep on staying with the same doctor that they've already had. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, that's paramount. If a lot of us have gone through 4, 5, 6, 7 doctors to finally land on an individual who we trust, that is a trusted advisor for our health and our well-being forward. And when you're switching on to plans, there are a lot of plans out there that have networks, and you have to only see their providers within network. So really what it boils down to is discovering who their doctor, their preferred specialist may be, and you want to find a plan that makes sure they have their doctor in it, so it's a smooth transition. They don't have to change anything as far as who they're seeing or what they're doing. Therefore, it works well.
Right.
That's paramount.
The other thing that they probably want to know too is in terms of what their deductible is going to be.
Yes.
And I don't know if every plan has a deductible or not. How does that work? Because, you know, when we have a deductible, that's out of pocket. That's going to raise costs as well.
Well, there's two halves that people really go into after they start with Medicare. They seek out either a Medicare Advantage plan or a Medicare Supplement, or sometimes called Medigap. Medigap policies, depending on which one you have, you can have, the most common is a plan G as in George, has a $250 deductible.
Okay. I just want you to keep on that type right there. So I want to ask you too, when should somebody call you? Let's say they're turning 65, right?
Okay.
When is the best time for somebody to call you?
It's best to call me 4 months before you turn 65, because I need to show you how to enroll in Medicare, who to speak with within Medicare, what type of Medicare, and there's different timelines on actually enrolling.
Right.
So it does not hurt to call too early.
Right. Too early is actually very
That's a
good.
good thing.
It's a good thing.
Very
And
much
the
so.
other thing too is that when people think that Medicare is for free, they think that it's going to get enrolled on its own. They don't know these things, right?
Right.
So these are
Very
things that
common.
where you come in, where you can help. Be proactive and make sure that you do this early. His phone number to call is 866-356-7250, and he works valley-wide. This is a no-cost service to you. He comes and he does a 2-hour consultation, not just with both of you, with each of you, you get this 2-hour consultation, and he comes to you. I don't know where we are here, so you're going to have to help me. What did you, before we go on a break, what would you want to get out there for everybody to know that's the most important thing for the next segment that you want to talk about?
Well, coming into our next segment, we're going to be going into real-life examples and takeaways of this actually working in motion, and actually the benefit of working with somebody who is actually partnered with, it happens to be myself, 25 or more companies, but actually what that looks like in motion and what you can do year over year. I'm going to give you examples of individuals that have been able to reposition themselves in a plan that better aligns with their current needs, so they can get those things achieved without it costing too much money.
And it's perfect because I think that stories are so valuable to the people that are listening. But I do want to ask you, let's say somebody's listening now, and we just went through season for Medicare was not too long ago, and they're here, we're in February already.
Yes.
Let's say they say, gosh, I don't really like my plan. Is there anything that anybody can do now that may already be in Medicare?
Absolutely. What they don't know. Most people believe the only time they can make any adjustments or changes with their Medicare is during a period called annual enrollment period, which is October 15th to December 7th. There is another period from January 1st to March 31st called open enrollment period. So if you have a Medicare Advantage, you're not happy with it, or you want to upgrade your coverage, or just check, I can meet with you and we can actually switch the plan for you that can start the first of the following month without having to wait till January 1st of the following year. And if it's in a Medicare supplement plan, and if it's underwritten to another plan, you can also switch anytime.
I'll tell you something, folks. With Medicare, there's so many questions. First of all, if you're new to it, he's the person to call to get you right on track 4 months before your birthday. His phone number is 866-356-7250. And if you're already in it, he can help you change it if you're not happy. Hang tight. We'll be back in just a minute. Okay. So I couldn't tell where we were in your thing, but I hope you're okay. But I thought that those were good questions because I think that there were things that needed to be asked, okay?
All good, it's all good stuff.
Okay, so now, the first question is where? Here it is. I'm seeing it on the third page.
This you don't even need to go into.
Okay.
Don't even go into.
Show me where you want me to be.
The examples.
That's what I thought. Okay,
there.
here, that's perfect.
Yep,
Okay.
and that's what's going to lead to some examples.
Okay.
Now, after I give some examples of what that is, the examples should take maybe 3 to 5 minutes.
I'm not worried about time, because we had such, we're time-wise, you are shorter than what I need. So I'm fine with just talking, because, that's why I had to throw in some things, because you were almost already done within like 3 minutes, you know, so I had to kind of,
Well, I wasn't kidding.
okay,
so.
we got it, we're
But
okay.
I made it short when we talked about affordability rather than getting into a lot of things. I made that segment shorter because I wanted to get into this and spend more time on how we can best affect
Can
their
I ask you a
situation.
question? What is your favorite thing that you love doing about what you do? What's your favorite part about what you do?
Putting people in a better position where I found them. Most people are just dumbfounded and not helped. They're wandering aimlessly. They have no direction at all. They find out they have coverage, and then all of a sudden they don't have coverage, and they end up getting in bankruptcies. There's, serious problems.
Wow.
I meet people that have gone through serious problems with not having the proper coverage or not having any coverage, or they thought their spouse was covered. Medicare are individual plans. They're not group plans.
Wow.
And I've had people that they just because they were being helped previously, they thought their spouse was covered. I found out that no, it's not. Their spouse is not covered.
How can that possibly be?
An individual that was helping them before misled them. Or maybe they weren't helping with somebody, they just called somebody who's a representative of a company and just enrolled. But maybe this person that's helping them on a company has only been doing it for 6 months and they really didn't know, and maybe they provided them the wrong information.
Wow, that's amazing.
Misinformation is the biggest problem.
Wow.
Maybe they don't give you the wrong information, but they give you just enough to manipulate you. The problem is they're listening to Joe Namath on TV, Mike Ditka, William Shatner, and everybody else, positioning and aiming them the wrong direction. That's the problem.
We know it.
You need the whole story, not bits and pieces. You need everything.
Okay, so when we're done with this show, with this segment, I'm gonna talk to you what I think, okay? Because I can help you make it better, okay?
Absolutely.
So here we go.
So that's where we're at.
Okay, yeah, I got you. So welcome back, everyone. We're talking Medicare right now, and at the break, and I told you everybody, I talked to everyone at the break, during the break to Facebook land, and here we were talking, and I heard you say something that I don't know if I've ever have heard before, and that is that when it comes to Medicare, when you meet new people all the time, that people come into some serious problems, and you wanted to share some of the stories that you have dealt with people that have done things that not by their own fault, but by being misled or by being with somebody who may have not been in the industry very long or what have you. So let's talk about some of these things.
Okay. Well, what I was referring to in the break that we were talking is you asked me, what type of things or challenges am I seeing with new individuals that I meet? And one is they're being misled all the time. It's a lack of information. They're only being told enough information just to incite them to do something, to make a change that may not be in their best vested interest. And they're being manipulated. They're enrolling in a plan. I've had individuals say, I thought my spouse was covered. I was told that. No, Medicare are all individual plans, and their spouse went to the hospital, something happened, and it cost them a lot of money because they were grossly misled.
Wow.
It's a lack of information.
Well, you've been doing this for 28 years, and what makes it different is that you are a broker, so that you can work with lots of different Medicare
companies.
Plans, if I say it right like that. And what's really great is that we have somebody here local that you can talk to. Your number to call is 866-356-7250. He's valley-wide, and it is a no-cost service to you. And he'll come to you, and he does a 2-hour consultation with each of the people who are getting on it. So not just one person or both people, each person gets a 2-hour consultation. That's an extensive consultation. So, let's talk about some of these things. So you want to talk about some of the different, like Medicare plans and what they covered and the options that these people have. Let's talk about that first.
Well, nationwide, there's over 3,000 Medicare Advantage plans. Medicare Advantage
I had
is
no idea.
very confusing as far as all the options that are out there. It really is. I can give you some very good examples with Medicare Advantage. And then I'll start with Advantage, and then I'll talk with supplements. With Medicare Advantage plans, let's say I'm working with you and you're number one, you want to join into a plan that's a very good all-around coverage plan. So we work together, that's great. We enroll in that plan. Next year though, when we meet, because it's all about ongoing care, it's not just the initial consultation, it's ongoing care year over year moving forward. I ask you what your needs are for the following year, and you say, well, Howard, I need to get a lot of dental work done. I need to get periodontal prep work. I need dentures. I need uppers. I need lowers. I need whatever your situation is. But this was an example. Somebody needed $18,000 of dental work. So the majority of Medicare Advantage plans have approximately an average of $1,500 of comprehensive dental coverage per year. And $1,500 is not a lot when you're comparing it to $18,000. I actually put this individual into a plan that is a Medicare Advantage plan that has a very robust $20,000 of dental coverage. It may not be as open of a network, a little more restricted on the co-pays, but it provided the care was needed. So she got the dental work done, it was all completed, and the following year, we switched her back to her overall plan.
Wow, that's awesome. I mean,
Yes.
I know somebody that has a problem with that, and I'm going to tell them about it because, when you have, especially with older folks, when it comes to dental work, and oh my God, it's so expensive. I think it's great to be able to talk to somebody, and let's say somebody already is on one now. Can they call and talk to you now and say, hey, I wonder if my plan's good or not, or can you talk to those people?
Yes, in fact, I do that all the time. I do a lot of educational seminars. It's all about empowering and educating everybody on what type of plan they really need to go with. I'll go to senior centers, retirement communities, coffee houses, many different venues. It's all about educating and empowering everybody. And yes, reach out to me if you're in a plan. If all you want to do is verify you're in the right plan, we can do that. Or if you're not happy with your plan, you'd like to see what additional options. Another good example is, this was very recent. Within 3 weeks ago, I was meeting with somebody new to Medicare, and they said, you know what, this is really misleading. Joe Namath on TV is telling me one thing, and Mike Ditka's saying this, and William Shatner is telling me this. My mailbox is inundated with this. My voicemail is full. My email, this is overwhelming. Okay, what is there a Medicare Advantage plan out there that just gives me money back instead of all these other perks in addition to health care? I said, you know what? Yes, there is. There is a plan that can actually give you up to $185 per month on a Part B give back that comes to almost $2,200 per year as an extra perk on top of the full coverage that it has. She was very happy, and we went ahead and aligned with that.
Well, I'll tell you something. I think that especially the commercials can be so deceiving, the ones on television. And yes, people do think that Joe Namath is going to call you back, but I think you said something to me earlier that just I resonated with. The people that call, that they're trained, the ones that answer the phone, and once you call in and do that, they're going to reel you in. And that's kind of like a scary thought. If that if you get in on that plan and now you're listening, maybe that happened to you. The good news is we have Howard here, right? I mean, he can talk to you and he can help you see if we can change that plan for you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Sometimes it's just talking to somebody on the phone for a brief couple minutes and directing them in another order, or we can meet up together, we can go through everything, we can document it all.
Now, the phone number to call is 866-356-7250. Again, he's valley-wide. He's been doing this for 28 years. And to me, it makes sense to speak to somebody local. That's number one, too. And also that it's a no-cost service to you. Why wouldn't anyone do that? I guess they just don't know better.
Well, a lot of people are afraid of change. That's number one.
Oh, I bet.
That's it.
Especially the seniors.
Yeah, everybody's afraid of change in a certain way, but yes, they're afraid of change and they don't want, they fear loss more than they aspire gain. Mm-hmm. Loss is what motivates most people out there anyways. Mm-hmm. So there's no risk to you. At this point, we're looking. If we find something better, the number one rule is don't cancel what you've got until you're already approved for the replacement, so you're never at risk.
Now, do you do all of that for them, or because
Oh, yes.
I would imagine anyone
I will
would
do it for them. I'll walk them through. If they chose, they want to make calls, they want to do that, we'll say who you need to call, what you need to say. You want a confirming email, what information needs to be there, et cetera, to ensure success.
His phone number is 866-356-7250. I feel that when I watch, and I'm always watching commercials, obviously, right? And I do see there's a lot of things that are quite deceiving. And I think people here, especially, one of the things that I also know is when you've also been in a plan, even if you stayed on it for a while, most people stay because it's comfortable. They just, or they don't even know. I think a lot of people don't realize that there are people out here like you.
Completely. In fact, starting in 2025, everybody, there are those that have decided to be on an Advantage plan, which is about half Americans out there. There are very good nationwide PPO plans that are Medicare Advantage plans. If you're on an HMO plan, there's a big difference between an HMO and a PPO. That's another show for us. Mm-hmm. But there are options out there. And if you have a Medicare supplement, don't cancel what you got till you already found a replacement. We can look for the exact same coverage at a better price. Since there are so many options that are out there, there's more than a 50% variance in Medicare supplement programs for the exact same coverage. It doesn't matter what company you have. All supplements are standardized by federal law, so no matter what company you've got, your benefits are exactly the same. So don't be afraid. If there's another company out there that has the exact same benefits, that means their summary of benefits is verbatim, exactly the same. You have all to gain and nothing to lose by finding a better price, because if we do, we can apply for the same benefit at a better price. If you're approved, we'll wait till you get the cards in your hand. After that, then you can cancel your existing coverage so you have no risk.
I'm going to tell somebody out there right now, everybody listen up, because you shouldn't be doing it on your own. A lot of people today are trying to go up to Dr. Google, right?
And it's at no cost to them.
Right. But it makes sense to speak to somebody who is as knowledgeable as you are, that you've been doing this a long time, and he's going to help you take each step and make the right step so that there's no problems down the line, right?
Absolutely.
Again, it makes sense to speak to somebody here local. His phone number is 866-356-7250. He's been doing this for 28 years, and what makes him different, besides being a broker and about the fact that you're a very nice person, is that he comes to you, he spends 2 hours with each person, even if there's 2 people in the family, 2 hours with each person, and that's a consultation that you get with him, and he comes to you. He's valley-wide, doing it for 28 years. Give him a call. His phone number is 866-356-7250.